None will have meaning, and you won't even care. By then, you'll be something other than human.
А где моя человечность? Я же ее не терял.
A thing that feeds on souls.
А что произошло? Куда моя человечность делась?
A hollow.
You know Dark Souls 2, right? The most controversial one, that one that is considered to be the greatest Souls game and the shittiest piece of crap at the same time. Discussion of that one game will be enough to rekindle the first flame, because the amount of butthurt energy both sides produced during the argument, and it is phenomenal how these two so opposite opinions are related to the same game. I also decided to give my 2 cents, but instead of being that guy who says, well, of course Dark Souls 2 is not a bad game, but it's not a masterpiece either, because it's freaking obvious, you dumbass. Instead of being that guy, I will try to analyze aspects of the game and rate them. And rather than trying to be as much accurate as I can, I will stick to this extreme scale where I have only 2 options. It's either a pee-pee poo-poo or a masterpiece. Presentation is vital, that's why good game design is so important. Dark Souls 2, does it have a good game design? To answer that question, I want to divide this segment into 4 parts. Visual style is what defines how the game will look like and what atmosphere there will be, and when I first saw Dark Souls 2 footage, my thoughts were, seems like it's not that Dark Souls, you know? Enemies design, the whole cartoonish style, all the bright colors have created the feeling that it was just fantasy, not dark fantasy. Even though some locations look amazing, for me the game lacks this dying and depressing atmosphere that you can feel everywhere in Dark Souls. And maybe you personally like this, which is fine, it's just what I was missing. That's why in overall I have to start with a pee-pee poo-poo rating. Level design has 2 problems: enemy positioning and elevators. And if elevators are not that big of a deal, like for real, it doesn't ruin your experience that much because, well, you fast travel all the time, enemy positioning is what really leaves something to be desired. And I say not because some enemies don't fit their location aesthetically. Yes, I'm looking at you, Katana guy in a big forge with a Diablo boss, but because making player face a bunch of enemies at the same time is a poor design choice to make the game harder. In game design, there is a thing called difficulty curve. Basically, this is what helps to keep players' enjoyment. If the game is too easy, players lose their interest because there is no challenge. If the game is too hard, they also drop the game because they would think that the game is unfair and doesn't worth it. That's why it is so important to stay in that so-called stream and maintain the balance of the game. But because Dark Souls was portrayed like one of the hardest and challenging games, even though the challenge was fair and mostly balanced, devs took this unique feature and decided that they can't offer less to their fans. And they've chosen the wrong way.
Why?
The difference between Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2 is that the first one wasn't intended to be hard, while the sequel is hard just for the sake of being hard. And one of the ways to create this unnecessary challenge is to mindlessly put enemies all over the place. Good level design is not just fascinating views and amazing visuals of locations, it also fair gameplay that these locations offer. That is what Dark Souls 2 lacks, and also the way they lock some paths using statues in Scholar of the First Sin is lazy as fuck. I have two words: Fashion Souls. That's all I have to say. But like, for real, I do love when you can not only create your character's appearance but also match different armor pieces to create your own fashion. I spent a lot of hours just creating different characters, and that is definitely what Dark Souls 2 did right. The biggest complaint about Dark Souls 2 bosses is that they are not hard and mostly nice looking dudes, but in my opinion most of the bosses are boring mechanically. Night bosses can be even cooler than any biggest creature just because you won't be looking at bosses' ass throughout the whole fight until they die. It can be an interesting and dynamic duel like the one with Artorias, and that is why it is so important to have not only good visuals but also interesting mechanics. I don't care that Demon of Song is an easy boss, I remember that boss fight because it was unique, and vice versa. The Fume Knight boss fight is considered to be one of the hardest, but it's boring. Dark Souls 2 in total has 41 bosses, which is incredible, but at the end of the day it's not the quantity that matters, because it doesn't matter how many bosses you have if most of them are not remarkable at all. But to be fair, Dark Souls 2 has some interesting boss fights visually and mechanically.
お前はもう死んでいる。何?
And some of them are, well, we'll say not that great, because these are either a copy of other bosses or just boring bosses or multiple enemy bosses. Almost every great boss battle except the Lost Sinner is shit. I even had to search for bosses list to remember which one I forgot when I was writing this script. Even though I completed the game not that long ago, I can't say it's a masterpiece, but also can't say it's a pee-pee poo-poo, and DLCs were on point as well, so let it be a pee-pee poo-poo masterpiece. Since we've started talking about new mechanics, it's time to cover another important topic. Well, new mechanics. Dark Souls 2 is not just a copy of Dark Souls, that's why most of the community was disappointed, but that's why devs tried to bring something new to the game, and I think that was a good decision, although some innovations haven't been accepted by the community. And the most controversial one is adding a bunch of healing items. I don't think I have to say a lot about it since there are dozens of opinions on YouTube. I'll just say that I think that gems were a good addition to the game. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's balanced due to adaptability, healing speed and the health bar reduction. You have more things to heal you, but you also have to be more careful. The more heals you have, the more is the desire to use them, and the more chances for you to be punished. And don't forget that this innovation led to opportunity to walk and heal in Dark Souls 3, definitely a masterpiece. Instead of focusing on gems and adaptability, thinking did it make the game easier or not, I would like to cover other important mechanics that have been implemented into the game, but for some reason didn't draw that much attention, although they are important too. I think God break mechanic was the game changer if we speak about PvP, since it changes the way players use shields. In Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3 as a result, you have to use shields wisely or you can be easily punished with a repulse right in your face. This mechanic made PvP more dynamic, more variable and more fun. Dual wielding suck ass. I remember being so excited about it when it was announced, but in reality it just changes damage numbers and slightly changes animations. I mean, I don't think you get too excited when you upgrade your weapon and the damage increases, because that's the same fucking thing. It doesn't bring any new fun to the game or variety in playstyle. It's a cool idea that could have been executed in a more interesting way, but well, it wasn't. I think weapon up mechanic in Dark Souls 3 did a better job, so yeah. Another great addition to the game is Soul Vassal, with a system that highly relies on stats you level up, where few wrong investments can ruin your build. It is important to have an opportunity to change these stats, and Dark Souls 2 lets you do this. Who thought that removing a constant item for invasions is a good idea? I just can't imagine somebody from the crew was like, hey, doesn't it stupid that you can get red eye orb only if you kill 4 kings first? Only a small percentage of people would do that because it's hard, and as a result it lowers the amount of players who would use our revolutionary invasion mechanic that is like the biggest reason why online is alive. And Danny says, what if instead we just make them farm this item all the time, and for some reason everyone else in the team were clapping saying, wow, what a great idea.
That is not correct.
Because it's not. It's garbage. As garbage is the soul memory mechanic. But I do think they did the right choice when they gave an opportunity to wear 4 rings and let players use human effigies without bonfires. These changes have made the game more convenient. But I want to say that I do think that Dark Souls 2 is a good game, and even more, I do think that Dark Souls 2 is a good Souls game. And I say it because I think that Dark Souls 2 brought a lot of new features that served as a foundation for Dark Souls 3 that is worth something in my opinion. Yeah, Miyazaki-san didn't make Dark Souls 2, but without Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3 could have been a whole another game. And of course the main reason is that I did enjoy playing that game. I've spent hundreds of hours playing it when it came out, and what is more important, I had fun. If you're still watching this, hey, thank you. For that, I don't know. You can have my throne. Now go into the comment section and write down throne to see how many of you watched till the end and to confuse those who didn't. And also, if you agree or disagree with something, feel free to tell me about that. I would be glad to hear your thoughts on that topic. Well, yeah, that's it. Wait, what? These credits are still running and I can't skip them? Literally unplayable garb.